And hello, everyone, and welcome to another scene for Sept of the Howling Winds, a Werewolf the Apocalypse venue set in San Diego, California. In this particular scene, we have Saoirse O'Donovan, who is the tale singer of Sept, has called upon her two mentees, protege, if you will, that she has decided to take under her wing, and having a little Galliard powwow with them. Uh, Seeing what they know, what they don't know, what they need, just kind of scoping them out so that she can better prepare herself for how to teach them and guide them and become better Galliards. So, this is where we will begin our scene with, uh, we'll just say we're at a spot near the lake, just kind of sitting at a picnic table. Um, You can either have your characters show up or have them already be there. I don't really care. Either way.
Siobhan would already be there. If I don't know if like Sorsha is already there waiting for them, but she's there. If Sorsha already was, she would have, given her a polite and respectful greeting before sitting down to wait for Aiden. Kind of idly doodling with her finger on the table.
Okay.
Aiden will turn up on time. Not he isn't late, but he isn't there already. He just turns up when asked.
Very good. One thing that they both will notice is that Saoirse is pretty pregnant. She's got about 6 weeks left of her pregnancy.
Sorry.
So, but so she looks a little tired, but otherwise in decent spirits. And she'll smile to them both. She'll say, "All right." Right.
Siobhan looks up.
Aiden has a bright.
I know
bright
both
smile.
of you. I know both of you fairly well. Aiden better than Siobhan, but well nonetheless. I still, though, I want you to tell me what you know, what you'd like to improve on, what you'd like to know more about being a Galliard in general.
Well, Siobhan says, I know that we're supposed to, sing tales and be the people that tell the story of the time that one guy fucked up when he shouldn't have fucked up, and this is why you shouldn't fuck up like he fucked up. You got that right, Aiden? She kind of looks over at Aiden as if asking for like him to what's the word, like double check her what she's saying.
He'll nod. I mean, yeah, we depending on your tribe and on just yourself, we do it differently. But yeah, we're here to tell the tales of what happened, the good and the bad.
Saoirse will nod.
And then Siobhan will go. And other than that, I think like we're supposed to do something where, when we're in like fights with our packs and stuff, and all those really cool story-worthy deeds happen, we got to be there to record them. Like, we're she kind of snaps fingers like she's trying to think of the words. We're like guru cameras. No. We're guru. What do they call them? And she's kind of thinking through her head. The old books of pictures that like moms keep.
Scrapbooks, photo albums.
Yes, we're guru scrapbooks.
I'll nod at that. Like, that's a good way to put it.
I think we're somewhere whether Seahurge know all about spirits, we're the ones that are supposed to know all about Garou history.
I'll nod at that too.
And Siobhan kind
What
of
else?
nods. We're supposed to be the ones that, like, when our packs are fighting, we keep their spirits up, you know, keep them from getting all depressed and sad and all that stuff that can happen when you're fighting the worm.
Or anything.
Mm-hmm. And she nods.
And what is your definition of a pack?
She kind of tilts her head to the side and she goes, well, I mean, can't work with the whole nation. We're just Cleoths, so we kind of have to start with, the one pack. It's like a company. You don't have the new people work with the entire company. They work in one small area, So, like, I would define a pack as just your immediate pack mates, those you are under a tribe or under a totem with.
That's true, but in terms of us keeping the pack, their spirits, morality up, it's not just the pack that we're sworn to, binded by a totem. It's the war pack, or any pack that we're with when we're fighting or on any other sort of mission. It's not just our pack that we're responsible for. It's the entire contingency that we have with us.
And she nods.
Because temporary packs exist as much as permanent packs do.
And then, so, and she's kind of thinking her words through here. But there's a difference between, like, a temporary pact and a permanent pack, right? Like, they're not the same.
Right, of course. Right, but it's just like, so a Galliard's primary focus is, at least, okay, she'll think about this for a second. A temporary pack is a pack that goes together, and it might include members of your own pack and it might not. It's whoever shows up to fight on a mission that's led by whoever is appointed the leader of the mission. Sometimes that's not appointed until all the Garou that are going are present, and it's usually the highest ranking Garou there or a rune will lead. But sometimes we as Galliards are called upon to lead as well. And so it's not only our responsibility then to make sure that everybody does what they're supposed to, but also our job to keep their spirits up. So when a Galliard is made a leader, that puts a little bit more responsibility on us. I am the alpha of my pack. So I know a little bit about that.
And she nods.
But sometimes, multiple packs will come together to go fight, or, one or two members of different packs will get together to go fight. It's just, and those are what we would call a temporary pack, a war pack, investigation pack, whatever the purpose is of the mission.
Aiming was small.
But just know that when you hear the term that we're responsible for keeping the spirits up of the pack, it's not just talking about your own permanent pack.
So then, when we're appointed leaders, obviously a rune are appointed or, asked to lead missions because of their expertise in combat, or a Ragabash because they're, super good at getting in places they shouldn't be. What kind of missions would a Galliard be asked to lead? She kind of leans forward with a very interested look on her face.
Honestly, the same types of missions that Arunes are asked to lead. We, as Galliards, are able to adapt probably better than most of the other auspices because we have so many things that we're supposed to be doing, and we take up the slack for auspices that are missing. So we're very versatile, and we need to be able to think on our feet and adapt. I've been asked to lead combat missions. I've been asked to lead, missions that are social, missions that, it's just I've led many types of different missions, and it causes me to think about what I'm doing and assess the people in my group, figure out where they're best suited, what they can do, what they can't, what I need to do, what I don't need to do, what I should and shouldn't do. It's just, there's a lot that goes into it. And to be perfectly honest, there's no certain type of mission that a Galliard should lead. The Galliard should lead whatever mission that they are assigned to lead.
And she nods. All right, then. So we're the adaptable auspice. What about in combat? In a fight, what is our role in a fight?
Our primary role in a fight is to keep the warriors, which are generally the Arunes, up on their rage. Call of the Wild is a very important gift for them. We keep the morale up in battle. We make our howls. But we also strike. We fight. My preferred way of fighting is with my claws, either in Hispo or Krynos. And I'm very, very proficient with it. I can best any Arun of my rank, maybe even higher, with my battle prowess, because I started out in a war pack. I'm still kind of Hummingbird is a war totem, but my former alpha, before she passed away, she made sure that I knew how to fight. I didn't know how to fight when I first came into the pack. Really, I didn't. And now, like I said, I could fight any Arun.
She nods again and says, all right, then. So, what are some of the social expectations that we'll have put on us as Galliards?
I'm sorry, what was that last thing she said?
She asked what kind of social expectations would be put on them as Galliards.
Okay, so the social. Galliards can be liaisons. We are the ones that, if our pack goes, if your pack goes to another sept, we announce the pack. We're responsible for those types of things. I am the tale singer of the sept. My job is to listen and sing the tales of everybody, but especially not just highlight the good, but call out the bad. If a pack is doing something wrong, then I point it out. Even an individual, if they're doing something wrong, I point it out. I support ideas or quash them. Another part of our duties that is very social is deciding on deed names. That's why we pay attention to who is doing what and why. Because if someone does something extraordinary, good or bad, we point that out with a deed name.
All right. So, what are some examples of deed names that you've given?
The very first deed name that I ever gave was my best friend, whose name also happened to be Aiden.
Aiden's mouth.
I named him Strikes Unseen because of an ambush that he pulled off by throwing another Garu at an elder god. Extremely, and both of them were stealthed. And the pair of them were named Strikes Unseen and Radiant Spear.
And she nods again.
And then there was, in that same fight, I gave 4 deed names in this fight. It was in the Amazon. And I gave one a deed name of Rocks Your Socks because he was a Glasswalker Theurge and he decided to provide a distraction by taking out his cell phone and playing music. And us Galliards that were present decided to sing along to aid in this distraction. And then later on in the fight, the Elder God produced lava, made basically all of the floor, the ground, into lava. And there wasn't very many places to step where there wasn't any lava. And our child of Gaia, Arun, ran right through the lava up to the Elder God. And for that, I named him Storms Through Lava.
She nods. And
then there's another one that I gave after death. She was a Wendigo Galliard. And there was a boon in this particular fight that was made with Wendigo that anyone that happened to die during battle would not stop fighting until the battle was ended. So their bodies would keep fighting even if they were dead. So after she died, after the battle was over, and I announced her death, I named her Undying Vengeance.
And she nods. Are there any kinds of spirits that we work well with? I know spirit work is a Theurge's job, but surely there's some kinds of spirits that us Galliards would be suited to dealing with when a Theurge isn't available.
There's not really a particular type of spirit that we work well with. The spirits listen to us because we sing the tales and praises of others. It is when someone does well and gets renown and is ready for, the next rank, we sing their praises and tell their tales to the spirits, and the spirits are the ones that accept them. So it's really all spirits that respect the Galliards because they take our word at that this person is ready for the next rank or more renown or what have you.
She kind of thoughtfully, slowly nods.
And we do that through the rite of accomplishment.
All right, that I'd learned recently. She kind of just finger guns at Sorsha.
She'll nod. Aiden, do you know the rite of accomplishment?
Yes, yes, I learned it with what's his name? His actual grandfather.
Yeah, Tolia Petrova or Soul of Mountains.
I learned it with Tolia.
She'll nod. Perfect. He is very good to learn from. He knows all the rites. And I don't know if you heard, but he took me as his protege. So some things what you learn from me, you are learning by proxy through him. most of what I told you, all of what I've told you today is just based upon my own experiences and upbringing. And Siobhan already knows this, that I was raised on the Sept of Tara and was brought up as a very, I wouldn't say, no, yes, traditional, a very traditional Fianna Galliard upbringing, because the Galliards of the Fianna are the most revered auspice in our tribe. And we are considered the Galliard of Galliard.
Now, what is
So
that?
there's a lot of pressure on Fianna Galliards to perform well.
What does that necessarily mean, that we're considered the Galliards of Galliards?
Because the Fianna as a tribe, as a whole, pride themselves on tradition and lore keeping and storytelling. So when the tribe already encourages that we keep the tales going of our ancestors, we have to figure out a way to make ourselves stand out when we come from a tribe such as that. There is a lot of pressure on Fianna Galliards to excel in the auspice a bit more than other tribes, because our tribe already does those things.
So we have to, in order to stand out, we have to work harder at it.
He nods. Work harder, get positions, make sure we're the first ones to tell the tales when the packs come back from battle.
She nods.
And of course, you don't have to leave it up to one Galliard to tell the tale. If a few Galliards are present, it is encouraged that all Galliards tell their tales from their perspective. Because when you hear a tale from one, you get one point of view. When you hear a tale from another, you get another point of view. And you might get some details in each that you don't get from the other. So it's not a bad thing for more than one Galliard to tell the same story. Just make sure it's not the exact same story. And if someone is planning on giving a deed name, you might want to confer with each other so you don't step on each other's toes.
She nods. Are there any... She appears to be like deep in thought. Are there any taboos, things that Galliards generally shouldn't do that are considered overstepping their bounds?
There can be times where our methods of storytelling can be considered as more of a judgment than a tale, so we might step on the toes of philodoxes. Or if we're too mocking in our speech, we could consider stepping on the toes of the ragabashes. But all in all, because we're so versatile and our words carry so much weight, little things like that is generally forbidden or forgiven. So it's not that big of a deal. It's just, don't get in the way of a philodox's judgment. And if you believe that, a philodox's judgment is unfair, then pull aside a ragabash and have them question it for you. Stuff like that.
She nods.
Don't try and outshine an Arun in battle. Even if you can. Just don't do it. Because we're not there to be on the... Okay. We are there to be on the front lines, but we're there for support. Not... unless an Arun isn't present. And if Arun isn't present, then of course, go for the glory. Take it all for yourself. It's fine. It's just learning, and it does do a Galliard very well to know a lot about everything. I know that that seems like a daunting task, but you need to know what every auspice does. You need to know what every tribe is about. You need to know as much about everything as possible. And that's why we're always questioning, asking questions, trying to gain more knowledge.
And she
And
nods.
I've always been interested in that type of stuff anyway. Like, I have a college degree in ancient history. So, just, and it can seem like a lot. The Galliard Auspice is very demanding. But while I am the tale singer and I tell stories and sing songs, my actual specialty is more on the counseling side, the keeping people out of Hirano or pulling them out, keeping their spirits up, being their shoulder to cry on or someone to talk to.
Okay. Is there anything? She appears to be kind of thinking. She goes, "Not. I think I'm actually out of questions for the moment."
She looks to Aiden. What about you?
He thinks. No questions, just maybe more information on what you said. As well, I'm not sure if you heard, but I became the alpha of the newest pack on this set. And on
So that makes 3 packs on Sept. No, 4 packs on Sept with Galliard Alphas. 5. Wait. Hold on. Yeah, 5 out of 6 packs on Sept have Galliard Alphas. Wow. 5 out of 7. I don't know who the alpha is of Bloodfire. I think it's Sierra.
I think
Still,
she said
you've got your pack is the Silent Guardians,
he'll nod.
Okay, so you're the alpha of that. I am the alpha of the Spears of Fury. Veronica is the alpha of the Night Raiders. Dazzles the Young is the alpha of Howls of the Past. And Symphony of Memes is the alpha of the Misfits. All Galliards. That's kind of impressive in my opinion.
Yeah, he'll smile. Seems the Galliards in this set are doing a good job.
Siobhan kind of
She'll
just
nod.
Siobhan kind of just like jokingly shushes Aiden. Shh, we can't let our plans to take over the set be heard. And then she kind of good-naturedly punches his shoulder.
She holds a finger up and she leans in close. I have tea to spill, actually, about that.
Siobhan leans in.
Yeah, Aiden
So
leans
I
in.
don't know if you heard about the Galliard that arrived on Sept yesterday. She is an elder Shadow Lord Galliard. Her name is Bears Down the Devil, which I had an interesting conversation with her last night because she and I actually have a similar story, and one of my past deed names is similar to that. One of my past deed names is Outsmarts the Devil. But anyway, I think that she's wanting to take over and be alpha of the Sept.
And do you personally support her in this possible, maybe not going to happen, totally aren't talking about it endeavor?
I do, actually, after speaking with her, and I know her tales and her deeds. She would be a very good leader for the Sept, and she's not. She's moderate, leaning liberal, so she's not going to pull the sept back to the Dark Ages. That's what people are worried about. But she might temper some of the things that have been happening lately, which, in my opinion, is not a bad thing.
How does Devrai is still the current sept author, yes?
He is.
Do you think she's going to challenge him for it soon?
I'm thinking that she's not even going to challenge because she does not respect his position as an Athro with no tribe. I performed the rite of severance on him yesterday morning. He said he wanted it. I advised against it. I told him that it was not a good idea for him to not have a tribe as the alpha of the sept. That while the king did decree that tribalists were to be respected as equals among those with a tribe, that not everybody was actually going to. And while it may be against the litany to shun those with no tribe, it's not against the litany to take a position from somebody who has no tribe. I advised him that he was leaving the sept vulnerable, especially since he named Hand of Asir as his beta, and he has no tribe either. She shrugs. But at the end of the day, he's my Raya. He made a request. I honored it. Support it? No, I did not.
And how do you think she's going to take the sept from him then? If she's going to challenge for it.
I'm thinking that my husband is, as the master of challenges, is just going to declare that I'm not exactly sure how they're going to maneuver this, but there are other things at play as well. And that's one thing that I think that I would like the two of you to help me with. I need you to gather more information about Delivers the Mercy of Death. I have heard some things that are very concerning. That he hasn't exactly been the upstanding Garu that we all believe him to be.
And Siobhan nods.
If I can help destroy his reputation, there won't be a challenge needed because he will step down.
So where should we start looking?
Talk to Hand of Asir. He doesn't seem to be his biggest fan. And I would also talk to Sebastian Cienfuegos.
So how on the down low do we need to be about this talking?
I mean, Cleas meet with those of higher rank all the time. So I wouldn't go around announcing your business to anyone who asks, but you don't need to be whispering in a corner either.
And what is Hand of Asir Raya's auspice?
He is a Philodox.
She nods. She kind of looks at Aiden and says, I think I have a plan.
And Sebastian is a Ragabash. And if she's up for it, you can speak with Dazzles the Young as well.
Siobhan nods. Ragabash, that'll be a tough one. We'll have to be on our toes for that. Especially he's Shadow Lord, is he not?
Aye, he is.
Ugh, she kind of shivers. Oh, that'll be fun. But I think I have a plan for getting some information out of Hand of Asir Raya.
She'll nod. I have all the faith in the world in my little protege.
She's straight up rubbing her palms together at this point.
Yes. No, what is Aiden's reaction to this stuff?
Aiden is smiling. But I mean,
Aiden, you're a child of Gaia. Why don't you talk to Delivers the Mercy of Death himself? and see what he might be willing to tell you.
I have noticed that since the whole thing when it happened with Dazzle's, that came, well, since Dazzle suffered through, began going through Rano, he's been different. So I think I know, not necessarily what questions to ask, but what to know.
See if you can get him to tell you the story of why and how he was involved in what happened to her.
And he'll
Because
not.
it's known that he was punished for having something to do with it. So why don't you figure out why? Why he allowed something like that to happen to her. It was pretty well known that they were supposed to be best friends. I don't know about you, but I'd never let something like that happen to my best friend, no matter who was doing it.
No, I wouldn't. I'd rather, to be frank, I'd die trying to not. I'd die making sure something like that doesn't happen to one of my friends. Even my best friend.
She nods.
But if we're excused, screams to Huntsman's Fury, I have a date with Hand of Asir. And she's smiling like that
Bye.
big, toothy, shit-eating Fiona grin that Fiona gets when they have that plan in their mind that may or may not get them punched.
You both may be excused. Fly, my little birdies.
Oh, she doesn't even be told twice. She bolts off towards the big house where she last saw the alpha.
Okay. So we will do we will do you guys' interviews with your respective NPCs in a different scene. I think that with with everybody dispersing and Saoirse extremely satisfied with where this is going, we can end this scene.
Okie dokie.
So, thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.